And 3, 2, 1.
And now we're actually live.
Yes,
Sorry.
we are live.
Oh,
Splendid.
Nice.
Excellent.
My
Great start.
fault. I broke the stream setup.
Who knows? Aury, never knew that you've got so many hit points. You discover something when you're actually looking at the screen for once. Hey everyone, welcome to Rules Fun.
Oh.
And not for long.
toughness feet.
Welcome to Rules Fun. We are Rules Fun. We play Pathfinder using the first edition of Pathfinder and the Spheres of Power, Spheres of Might, Gems of the Spheres by Drop Dead Studios, because I never said their name, and I think that people should check it out because it's cool and great.
It's awesome.
Very cool.
Exactly. So yeah.
It allowed us literally all the nonsense that we come up with, so it's great.
Exactly. And it really I especially like it because it makes it very simple to create interesting characters, and your characters are able to do stuff from level 1 onwards, which is very nice. So you're not with this like, oh yeah, you have to, like we did start at level 4. But regardless, even if you start at level 1, it's like, okay, I can do stuff.
Yeah.
It's also very nice to have abilities that you can use at will instead of
Yes.
always casting spell slots. So you're always worrying about, should I keep this for later?
And you're like, yeah, cool. I cast Burning Hands twice today. Shall we go and rest?
I'm
Because I
done.
will be useless for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Enough about that. Last time, our characters were still in the Castle Norgrim, where they are now trying to, where they did try to plot the local guards against the courtiers, who are currently in service of the local vampire lord, and who have threatened you that they did not like you here, and that you should watch your back.
Or our pillows
Or you'll-
and beds.
Or you'll find a manticore spike in it.
Watch your backs, not your beds.
Yeah.
Both.
Or you'll find a manticore spike in it. Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, you did manage to, or you think you have kind of succeeded in plotting those two against each other, or specifically plotting the guards against the vampire spawn. But the exact effects of that are not yet known to you. But at least there's talk about this among the guard. The session ended with the party splitting up, with Aury going to visit the guards, while Alys was going to have a private chat with the local vampire lord, who is going to show about his collection. And Nix has decided that it would be best to keep an eye on those two. Because you never know what might happen when someone is alone in a room with a vampire lord.
Who can mind control people?
So that's where we stand. Now, let us... I say us, let you introduce yourself. That sounds weird. How about you introduce yourself? Tell me who you are. Tell me who you are being played by. And why don't you also tell me what is the aspect that you like least or dislike most about yourself?
Oh. Now, wait, do we go from left to right?
That's entirely your choice.
What do you mean
Go.
by left
Least-
to right?
Well,
Is
I'm
it
looking
least
at the
or
stream,
most?
I'm double checking the stream, and I see Nix on the left.
Yeah. Did you like? Did you say? Did you like which we like the least about ourselves, or the
Yes.
most? Or the
Like
okay.
least or dislike most?
Right. Yeah. Got it.
It's fine. We'll take usual order. I will stop complaining about it.
Good.
Okay. Just,
Damn time.
Hi, I'm Merel. I'm going to be playing Alys. Alys is the smartest of the group and the unwisest of the group, which is why she is the one chatting up the vampire lord and having lovely, lovely discussions about books, which she also loves. Resident stabby bookworm, who is very aware of her strengths and weaknesses and is sort of settled on that. I think what she knows about herself that she's not very socially gifted. She can mimic it, but it doesn't come natural to her. So I think she greatly admires people like Aury who can just quickly blend in with people, and I think that's definitely, she wishes that she had a bit more of herself. So that's probably like the aspect that she is very socially. I was gonna say awkward, but awkward is not strong enough of a word. Socially incompetent. So yeah, that.
I'm Robert. I'm playing Aury, who can blend in with everyone apparently, which is ironic because he's a giant. So blending in is gonna be difficult.
You're not
You're
just a
stealthy.
giant. You're not just a giant. You're a famous giant.
I also a famous giant. In some places.
In full plate armor.
In full plate armor.
Blending in.
Yeah. With like 2 swords and a trident
like
and
a fire
shield
truck. Yeah.
and a gun. Yeah. As subtle as an elephant in a porcelain shop.
Yeah.
And yet people somehow seem to like you.
Yeah. And I think what Aury, I'm not sure if it's dislikes. So it's like his worst feature, I guess. Like
It's not about the worst feature. It's the part that you like. It's the part that you like least about yourself, or
part that
dislike.
I'm like.
So
yeah.
the part that you are frustrated by, not so much the thing that you're bad at.
I think for Aury, it's mostly. Actually, it works the other way around because he can blend in socially, but otherwise he's not able to blend because he can't stealthily go anywhere. He can't sneak anywhere because he's in full plate armor. He's dependent on his full plates, and I think that's actually, he's dependent on his armor. If he would not have his armor, he would have been like a sitting duck somewhere.
And you're also dependent on your weapons.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah. So, yeah, being dependent on things.
I think that his features are mostly admired because he's wearing those things, and if he would not have those things, well, he can talk. That's it.
All right. Well, Nix is less encumbered by his requirement to wield weapons or armor.
You're less encumbered by your equipment in more ways than one.
Yeah, in many ways, Nix is very, very unencumbered by his equipment, being a shapeshifter. But yeah, I think for Nix, I think the part that he likes least about himself, or at very least has hated for a very long time about himself, is just not being normal, not being like the other kids, being considered, being a freak. The reason he had to live on the streets. I do think he's doing better in that regard, but it's probably still very deeply entrenched in Nix, that he doesn't like being different. Which is kind of ironic for a shapeshifter, perhaps.
A shapeshifter doesn't want to be different. Oh,
Still chooses to be different, at least physically, these days.
So, I think we can then just start. Now, if I remember correctly, Nix, you did make a stealth check against
Yes.
against Alys to see if she would see you.
Yeah,
And she didn't.
she didn't.
I think it was an 18 versus a 16.
Something like
Oh,
that.
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close.
It wasn't bad, but it was a bad Elise number.
Mm.
So Nix, you see how and where are you exactly?
I think they were meeting up in the
Hiding.
living room, and I was going to be standing outside the door, outside the living room, one that I'm pretty sure of they won't be leaving through on their way to the library, so I can follow them.
All right. Yes. Through another door, Stelian Reed enters. This very quite regal looking vampire. Looks kind of a bit like a middle-aged human man, but has these tiny features that you cannot quite point out, that make him a bit more either mysterious or unsettling, depends on who you ask. And he greets you, Alys. Miss Uriel.
Mr. Reed, I am tremendously excited. I have to admit.
Excellent. I will make sure to deliver on my promise.
I shall look
Now.
forward to it.
Excellent. Now let's not waste any more time. Let me guide you to the library. Please. He holds the door open. After you.
I will enter.
All right. Nix, you will follow them.
Yeah. As long as I can more or less do so without being spotted. Probably still, even if it's just a servant or anything.
There are servants like all over the place. Do you want to also avoid being seen by them?
If it seems like reasonably possible, then yes. But like if it's just gonna make me look more suspicious to try, then no.
All right. I would say
Because
that
I can't
it is.
change size right now because that would be suspicious.
Mhm. It is reasonably possible, but it is quite difficult.
Nix is just going to pretend he's out for
Yeah.
a stroll then.
All right.
Just gonna hide and play inside and just. I have no. There's no reason I can't be there.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
fair enough.
Exactly.
So.
You may make me another stealth check.
Come on. Come on.
It's not great. Let's see what comes up to.
He's blending in. Is
Yeah.
it based on charisma?
No, stacks. Ah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
assume that you're not stealthing from the servants, but you are,
No.
I assume, trying to stay out of sight, especially of Alys and Stelian.
Yeah. I got a 13.
All right. Alys, Stelian leads you upstairs, and goes through both to and through one of the doors at the end of the hallway. And almost immediately off this door, there is a small gallery that seems to be more of like the hallway here was just a little bit wider than usual. You can see that there's a stairway down at the other side, and it was very much this place of just unused space. And they didn't really know what to do with it, so they made it a small gallery. There are 3 small statues on pedestals and a couple of paintings that are on the wall. The paintings here are of a variety of people. They seem all right. not extremely great craftsmanship. Just like, oh yeah, good painting.
May I ask, who are these people? Acquaintances of yours?
No, not at all. I think I've met one of them, I think. But no, these paintings are very old. And he goes past the paintings. They're a painting of... two of the paintings are of old kings of Iritis. And there is... there's also a painting of a family, which he says is the painting that was already located here. It seems to be almost finished, but not quite. According to Stelian Reed, this is the painting of the old family who lived here, the previous owners of the castle.
Right.
There's also one
I don't know
painting.
how to pry without sounding suspicious, so...
Mhm.
There's also
a painting that he doesn't touch upon, of what seems to be a human man, and this one kind of stands out because the man is in fact wearing a set of armor and has this knightly look to him. And you may make me a history check.
history or knowledge nobility or... I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, preferably history. History is the one that makes most sense.
Right, this is not a check, so I'm adding my 3d6.
Yes.
Thank you for our least numbers. I told you I picked this one because it rolls well in crucial situations. So, you want the proper least
There
number?
you go.
That's
Yeah.
a 30.
Oh, only a 30?
Excellent.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a 2 on this one, so...
No.
Not
Excellent.
sure if I would call this a crucial situation yet, but good.
Well, you don't know. You don't know.
At first glance, you kind of look at this painting and you're like, huh, that seems interesting. And you're digging through your memories of where you have seen this man before, because he looks kind of familiar to you. He has certain facial features, the way that his eyes stand out, also the look that he has in his eyes, the determination and ambition that you can see is clarified in this picture. And you dig through your memory, but you cannot find a match. And you're about to step away when you look back again, and suddenly you realize who this is and also why you don't recognize this. You've never seen this person in person, but you've seen images and not so much paintings, but mostly images of him several times over. Because this is a very famous person. This painting is of the human pre-undead version of Velthar, the King of the Dead, the Dread Lord of the Order of the Dead.
All right. And Stelian Reed seems to be purposefully avoiding him, this portrait.
Make me sense motive check.
Sense motive? Yeah.
23.
Yeah, he seems to be purposefully glossing over it. But it doesn't really feel like he is hiding something. so much as he himself doesn't really seem to know who this person is in this painting.
Oh. Interesting. Alright. I'll file that away in the memory banks.
All right.
Because I cannot make notes right now. Because it seems... yeah. Right. Yeah, I'll continue following him, just sort of admiring the paintings, giving like general comments of praise.
Yeah.
Because she's so genuinely interested in most of this, it's probably like a little bit muted from what she would be attempting to do. But
All right. Nix, where are you in all of this?
Probably finding a place to kind of listen mostly, to see what's going on. I don't need to actually see. I just want to be able to hear that everything is normal. So probably somewhere right outside the door.
Yeah, this place doesn't really seem to have many doors between them, but there is a door to the side that you know leads to the bathroom, which would be a very inconspicuous way to hide, and you can still listen in on them.
Then that's probably where Nix would be, yeah.
All right. Eventually, Stelian Reed leads you on. You cross one more hallway where you can see the chambers of the courtesans. And then you enter into the library. It is quite a sizable room. It seems that everything is neatly sorted. There are a few reading spots in several places in the room, seemingly made quite comfortable and not dedicated to study, but more to reading in peace. For leisure, yes. There are a lot of books, because of course there are. And one place that does quite quickly catch your eye is that there's also a place where there is a glass barrier between some of the books, or in front of some of the books. And they're very much like they're opened up. They are very much shown on display. That.
This is honestly magnificent.
Thank you.
Never seen a private library this welcoming. Honestly, I think welcoming is the appropriate word. Usually, you have to go to public libraries to find a space where you can just be with books.
Yes, exactly.
Did you design this?
I did for the most part, yes. The original room was in fact already used for book storage, but I decided to make it a place not only for storage but also for reading. You would want to have the books close by, of course.
Clearly, that is an excellent decision.
There were also several books that, to my idea, were just a bit too pricey to just have on the shelf. They are
You have me intrigued.
Famous first editions, and he shows you the books that are on display, which you know. Some quite impressive books. They are mostly history books. There are like a couple of history books. There are books about kind of the area. Kind of a book about the area around you now up to about 150 years ago when Dreidan really became its own thing. There's a book about the kings of Iritis. And there is a book that is kind of pseudo history that tells more about about prophecies and which ones have come out and which ones either probably haven't or maybe still will be.
As he points out to the last one, I'll just sort of laugh and say, I have a friend who would be very interested in that book.
I'm sure you have. I'm afraid that I cannot.
Obviously not. It's obviously not. I would never presume. No, it does always seem very unfortunate that when people display books behind glass, that they get so little love and attention. Their ability to share the knowledge that they hold, but I do understand it fully. So, if I may ask, what is your favorite book?
Oh, that's a very difficult question you're asking me.
I know people always tend to ask me, and now I may tease you first.
Revenge.
All right. Give me just
years.
a moment, and he looks around. And you see him standing at a few shelves. He is actually walking around, and sometimes he
I
just
will follow.
he like reaches for a book and then retracts, and reaches for it again and retracts again.
As I follow him around the library, can I make like a cursory glance of basically taking inventory, figuring out what kind of topics does he have in the library?
Yeah, sure. Make me a just a
Investigation?
Yeah, I think it would be investigation rather.
Yeah. I like investigation. Investigation is
Because
great.
Finding the books isn't that hard. They are literally everywhere. Seeing
Did we say
themes
that-
between them is the challenge.
Did we say that investigation was also a free inspiration die or not?
What are your free inspiration dice on?
Knowledge checks. Knowledge checks, linguistics and spellcraft.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, investigation absolutely is part of this.
All right.
You are an investigator after all.
Exactly. Okay, in that case, that becomes a dirty 20 for a 32.
All
I
right.
have a plus 12 on investigation.
Yes. It seems that he has gathered a variety of themes. Most of it seems to be history. You can recognize that most of the books are rather old, but there are a couple between them that you notice are far newer. So he hasn't been sitting still. You also recognize one of them that's a book that came out last month. And you like specifically remember because you were basically waiting for that book to come out.
He has similar tastes. Namely, anything and everything.
Kind of. However,
really a
he
taste,
does
is it?
have, in comparison to your own home library, his books are far less about monsters.
Mm. And more history.
Yes.
All right.
And eventually he just stops somewhere and he just looks at it and he nods. And he grabs the book off the shelf. The book itself has the title of Iritis, Lore, Lies, and Legend. Of all the books here, I think this is the one that piques my own interest most and that I've probably read through most times. It is quite a sizable book, is what you can see. It is a book that goes... that is a quite interesting mixture of prose and history. It goes into the ancient legends about Iritis and about its well, its creation, its oldest days. And it compares the stories with the reality, and it tries to find the metaphors in it, especially in the more fable-like stories. It specifically points out the traits that people have and the animals that are used to represent them. I find it fascinating to see how excellent those ancient writers thought about their metaphor. It is something, it's a certain depth that I would have never discovered on my own.
Now that sounds like something I absolutely have to read.
You are certainly welcome to. And he hands you the book. Of course, I would prefer if it does stay in the castle. Obviously.
I mean, I know the damage that sunlight does to books. I have a little brother who used to borrow my books for study, and he'd always take them outside, and one time he left a book in the rain. I was devastated. I was honestly devastated. I mean, he left books outside more often, and then they come back faded, but the rain incident, that was just the worst. Some people just don't understand the value of books.
Exactly.
Do your fellow inhabitants of this castle have a similar appreciation for reading?
Sadly, I'm afraid I'm perhaps not the only one, but I'm certainly the one most interested. It is an interest that I do not share with the other courtiers here in this castle. There are a couple of the guards who are interested in reading, but they're just a little bit too different from me.
I understand.
And of course, I can rarely really talk to them about them. They are the guards, after all, have their job to do here.
Exactly, and there's just this difference in position that always gets in the way. But suddenly you must share some other interest with the courtiers.
Very little, I'm afraid. They seem to be more interested. We have some interests. Every now and again, we like to go out and hunt. A sport that I quite like. Not too often, but it is something that is interesting enough. Especially after a long day or several long days of only reading, it is nice to
be active.
Sometimes be active and be outside with a purpose.
Exactly. I fully understand what you mean. I mean, the idleness of tedious jobs is what drove me to become what I am. Boredom seems to have been my greatest driving force.
I'm hearing some lockdown frustration here under the surface.
Not that you've interrupted anyway. Where are you in all of this? Are you because they're spending quite some time in this library? Are you just kind of waiting outside of the library? Are you?
Yeah, I do want to keep an ear out to hear if nothing weird is going on, and I don't hear any blood-sucking noises or screams or hypnotic voices. Yes, master. Anything of the sort.
Right.
Be,
right. But you're not looking in.
No.
Okay. Do give me another stealth check.
Sure. Oh. That's better.
Okay.
That is better. I think I found a good hiding spot because that is a 27.
Nice.
Right. After some time, you do notice that a door, that the door to one of the courtier's rooms is suddenly opening. And Lyrich steps out and walks kind of in your direction, but doesn't really, probably does notice you, but pays no attention to you.
Okay, that's good.
She doesn't really seem to care that you're here and not see any. She doesn't see anything suspicious about you being there.
Right.
If anything, she avoids looking at you as much as possible.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
All right.
Where is she heading?
She's heading downstairs.
Okay.
Which means like she's heading around the corner, and then you hear footsteps on one of the staircases. So let's then step to Aury. But before we do that, Alys, I would like you to make me a will saving throw.
Right. Does the mind? Wait, did we take another one?
What do you mean?
don't.
8 hours is quite a lot of time. It didn't pass.
Yeah,
just yet.
it's still active. It should still be active.
When did we take the second one? Because we spent the night here already once, right?
No, we didn't.
Oh, right.
We had
okay.
breakfast and lunch.
You arrive very early in the morning.
All right.
It's afternoon.
Yeah. Does that do anything for me right now?
Who knows? It's a +4 bonus, right?
I have a +4 bonus.
The potion gives you a +4 bonus.
Okay.
You never told us.
I didn't? I thought I
No.
did.
No.
All right, potion gives
it
you a
might-
+4 bonus.
Oh.
Might be somewhere, but I.
Good to know for now. Just roll me a normal will save, and the bonus. I will take the bonus into account if it applies.
All right. My roll is a 10 plus a will of 4.
Okay.
All right.
That is not bad.
That's not bad.
So I am on guard. I am going to add and spend 2 points of inspiration because this is a saving throw to add an inspiration die to this. That's a good roll. That becomes a 19.
You probably really didn't need that, but
Whoa, we lost someone.
Oof.
oh no! Stelian, what did you do? Was the guards? No, I don't know.
Someone did not make their saving throw. just tell us when we're back.
We're back now.
I
Okay.
hope
I
that
think-
sentence was just God.
I hope it was just on there.
I actually
That would
hope
be
that
great.
like only the last part of the sentence was God.
Yeah.
We'll never know. I will probably know when I watch this back.
You can look back.
Um,
yeah.
Everything's
Where were
looked
we? Right.
good
saving
again.
throw.
So
Yes. I'm going to specify a short thing, and
Mhm.
I wanted to specify this at the moment, but you were so quick that I didn't have the chance. So this is not me retconning something. This is me wanting to say something but not being fast enough. This is not a saving throw that you can use your inspiration on,
okay.
because
In that case,
you cannot use inspiration is something that you yourself use, and that Alys herself also uses. It's not something that can be used on something that you're not aware of.
Okay.
Right.
okay. In that case, I still have 4 points of inspiration, and that was a 14.
All right, that has been taken into
Not
account.
included the +4 from the potion.
Yes.
I think you're safe. with that.
Now I'm fucking nervous.
Yes. Nix, you may make me a perception check.
All right. Let's see. That is a 14.
All right. So far, everything inside there seems to be going quite normal.
Mhm.
It really seems that Alys and this vampire lord are talking about subjects that they both find interesting.
Alys is prodding a little into the relationship between Stelian Reed and the courtiers and exactly why they are living here.
But you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary.
All right.
Like as far as you know, like this could also, the conversation would have gone the exact same if this was just like a human noble who had a large library and an interest in books.
Fair enough.
But at the same time, something else is also going on. Back on the ground floor, Aury,
Mhm.
you were going like you were. If I remember correctly, you wanted to go outside and around the building to enter the door that the guard said you could enter,
Yes.
where you could find them.
Yes.
All right. As you open this door,
Mhm.
you find yourself in it's basically kind of a room. It is obviously a room. It is actually a room. It's not kind of a room. It's a room, but it kind of looks a bit like it has the
Aesthetic.
not quite aesthetic. It contains stuff that usually would be kept in a shed. So you see quite a variety of gardening tools. There's a wheelbarrow stacked in the corner, probably not been used in a long time because a lot of things are stacked on top of it. There are 2 more doors here. One of the door is slightly open, and you see that it leads into the living room.
Mhm.
And there is a door to the side. And you hear a voice coming through that door.
All right. When I hear a voice, I just stop walking and first start listening if I can hear what they're saying.
All right, that sounds like a perception check.
All right. 21.
Okay. You hear a voice that you haven't heard before.
Oh.
I think. The voice kind of sounds like someone who doesn't really know that you can retract your tongue inside of your mouth, and it doesn't always have to be outside of it. It kind of sounds like with every word that this person says, he is biting on his tongue.
Oh.
You hear, you don't understand what he's saying, but the way he's speaking, you kind of recognize. You kind of recognize a way of speaking that Alys is also prone to. You're quite sure that this person is describing alchemy to someone.
Ah! Alright. Alchemy, and I thought it was in the guards, so... Oh, there was a 5th guard, I think, right? So
Fifth
maybe
and
that's
6.
6.
So we have
Yes,
maybe
there
it's-
are 6 guards.
maybe it's one of those 2. Okay, if I can't hear what they're saying, I'll just take a few more steps to the door and politely knock 3 times.
All right.
We still haven't spoken to Calgan and
Colgan.
Colgan?
Colgan. Culgan. You knock on the door, and you hear the handle suddenly moving down, and the door creaks open just a bit. Or it creaks a bit while it opens. It opens fully. And you see the short, kind of hunched over figure of Iron there.
Ah.
There are 2 other guards in this room. You can see Isaac, who is standing with his back against the window, arms folded, and seems to be looking at the 3rd guard, who you know as Colgan, because I think you've heard all their names.
Yeah, we've got all their names. The only one we haven't met yet is Ian?
Yes. I mean, you have met Ian.
Yeah, I mean at dinner.
We saw him during dinner, but
And that's the only time we've seen him.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard to remember that? It's breakfast.
Why not both?
It was breakfast. That sounds really awful.
Brenner.
It does.
Breakfast sounds like dragon for breakfast.
Huh.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Colgan seems to be the person who is explaining things. He's busy mixing potions. He has several alchemy ingredients on the table, and sometimes takes a couple of powders or some weird stones that you don't know what they are for, and mixes them together. And you see that his tongue is basically always outside of his mouth. He's basically having this very concentrate, like.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But at the same time, he's talking somehow.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Or mumbling is probably more like the right description. You also see that there are 3 servants in this room.
Oh.
Kind of standing a bit to the side, just their empty, happy faces on, and just kind of waiting there. And as you enter, I mean, do you enter? The door is open for you.
It is open, and are they like opening like come in, or are they opening like who's there?
They seem to have opened it first as a who's there, but
Okay.
as soon as Isaac sees you, he gives a little nod.
And then I'll walk in.
One of the servants goes to approach you, and with a smile says, "Oh, sir, I'm afraid that this is private territory. This is a private room." Isaac steps in and says, "Do not worry, he's here with me." And the servant goes back.
I'll just smile at the servant. You didn't know, so you're doing your job very well.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
You may make me a perception check.
Right. That's not so good. It's a 14.
All right. Out of nowhere,
Hmm.
Culligan makes a very sudden, almost twitchy movement, and he knocks over a bottle that seems to be filled with some kind of white-looking fume, and it smashes on the floor. And the room is starting to fill with this strange white mist. You may roll me a Constitution saving throw. Sorry, Fortitude save.
Fortitude saving throw.
I also make this mistake. I am aware of it.
I'm so
23.
happy.
23.
There we go.
Good number.
You feel this this mist trying to intrude you, and you feel slightly dazed, a little bit drowsy, and you see some dark spots appear in front of your eyes. But you're, I mean, it's both you just being able to like resist this, and you blink a few times trying to focus. You're a big man. There would need to be a lot more mist to knock you out.
Yeah.
The servants go down. Colgan, Iron, and Isaac also seem to go down, but then basically immediately stand up again. And Iron closes the door quickly behind you. And the white mist fades.
Seems like they were prepared for this, possibly.
Was this a happy accident?
Excuse me for that, says Isaac. My apologies that I did not tell you before. I hope you understand that. Well, I couldn't really tell you this before. Please take a seat. And he points at a table, rather large table that contains, that has 6 chairs around it.
Not an accident at all. I thought you would get a chance to catch it. Like if you caught it, it would be like, great. Now what?
Yeah, now what? I don't think Aury would think about catching it. So I'll just take a seat.
Who knows what would have happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. You take a seat. Well done. Culligan is already sitting there. Isaac goes to sit opposite of you. And Iron goes to sit next to Isaac. Culligan is now busy like cleaning up stuff. Still with his tongue out, which seems rather dangerous when you're busy doing alchemy. But you know,
I mean, that's
whatever.
Also tasting, I guess. I look at Culligan like, you should talk with Alys sometime. Because you could talk for a long time, I think.
I can try, I think.
Let's hope it gets to that. And I look at Isaac.
Any specifically you wanted to talk about?
Just wanted to update you about our lunch. It was
tasty,
pleasant. If I could use that term. Something definitely happening there.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I've worked on some planning. And I think we could subtly remove one of the 3 from the equation.
Please, let be Irish.
We can strike at any of them. So it's kind of up to you if you have any preference.
Huh.
If you need any more information about them.
Don't you kind of want to wipe Lyric?
I kind of want to wipe Lyric myself. And I know she has a dog.
If you want a bit more information on them, Lyric herself is not extremely powerful.
But she has
Seems
a dog.
to form a very good team exactly with her wolf, more than a dog.
Mm. So you would be able to take her out?
Yes.
Huh. I mean, you
Conrys is kind of a gunslinger. If you want to take him out, be aware that it will probably get loud. Finally, Victor is a fighter. Wrestler is, I think, the best way to describe it. He is pretty tough.
Well, that could have been fun. Do they have any healing capabilities? As far as you know.
They have some, yes.
All of them?
Well, they are vampire spawn. Blood that they drink will heal them. That's for the wolf, of course.
Yeah. The wolf.
Probably. I do have my suspicions that the wolf has been infused by vampiric magic.
They all have its benefits. Taking out the gunslinger might also distract the other two, so that might not be the best. Taking out the fighter with a team of your guys could also work. Taking out Lyric and the wolf, just taking two out of the equation at once.
Just a wolf.
I don't think you could take out one of those. Take down one, and the other one's gonna go in a frenzy.
True.
Are you guys sure you
take out Lyric and the wolf, or just Lyric?
Oh, you will have made it clear that taking out Lyric includes taking out the wolf.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way that Isaac talks about them, Lyric and the wolf are basically the same person in his eyes.
Just in two different places.
Then I would go with that one.
Why did Aury have to decide this? Aury is the worst person to have to decide this.
You can decide to go back and discuss it with us.
You want to discuss this with your colleagues. You certainly can do keep in mind that it will cost us more time then.
My colleagues are, well, preoccupied. So that might take some time, and time is of the essence.
That's exactly.
You know what, Isaac? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to step over my own pride this time. Because I would have loved to give Lyric a piece of my swords. However, it might just be good to get those two out of the equation. 2 for the price of 1. But are you guys really sure you're up to that?
Mm-hmm. More than certain.
And I assume that your plan involves more than just you guys taking out one of them. Because the other two will retaliate.
So we want to talk business. Shall we stop doing this ridiculous, presumptuous sideline talk of trying to keep up appearances and just be honest with each other? Because I do know that you are strikers. I do know that you come from the caravan that is now passing through. And I also know strikers well enough that you have not stumbled on her accidentally. And if you haven't stumbled on here accidentally, there's only one reason why you would be here. That's because you have a target. Someone in this place needs to die. The Strikers Guild will probably not hand out a reward for vampire spawn that they've never heard about. You're here to kill Stelian Reed.
Dang, and I thought we were so convincing.
We were. Isaac is just very smart.
Yeah,
Obviously.
he knows about the caravan, then it's not hard.
Let's assume that what you say is correct, just for getting this conversation going. And in the spirit of honesty, isn't your job to prevent exactly that?
Perhaps. Well, actually, I think our job is to make sure that no one enters or leaves this castle without Stelian Reed's permission. It's been a while since I read the contract, I'm not quite sure.
Fair enough. Might also be difficult to work with these smileys, and I look at the servants who are still out, I think.
Yes,
think?
they're
Do they smile
absolutely out.
while they're
Are they still smiling?
unconscious?
Yes, they are still smiling even though they are unconscious.
That's
Ugh.
just weird.
Fuck's up.
I have to agree with you on that one.
So, you know what I would get out of it? What would you get out of this?
Well, when Stelian Reed is gone, the castle will need a new caretaker.
Could see that one coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Ah. I think Bernal would make a good lord, don't you think?
If I have to go for what lords I know from Iritis, he would make an excellent lord.
He would
He
easily
certainly
blend
has
in.
the appetite and the size of one,
Exactly.
as well as the ego.
Possibly the mind.
Speaking of ego, I should give you a small warning. Stelian Reed almost certainly also knows that you're strikers and also knows, or at least suspects, why you're here. However, arrogance is probably his greatest weakness. As long as he thinks that he has a chance of keeping you for himself instead of getting rid of you, he will certainly try.
Then at least
Oh.
he's in exactly the right place.
He wouldn't mind terribly if his 3 courtesans would be missing in action. As long as he
I
can
don't
keep
think
give us-
Stelian Reed has the capability to care about others.
Sounds like a new lord is being needed for this castle. Hopefully one with a better relation with the local population.
Exactly. Now, I suggest that we help you on your way. We will help you in whatever way we think is possible. Although I'm afraid that this castle also still holds many secrets to us.
Secrets like the whereabouts of the Lord's resting place, maybe?
Yes, that is frustratingly enough one of the secrets that are still being kept from us. However, I do have some more interesting information.
You
If
tell.
you agree on our deal. You can take out the Lord. We will help you. You can take out the vampire spawn, who will certainly retaliate, with which we can help you. You can take any valuables of the Lord and the courtiers. For those of the courtiers, we do know where they are being stored. We would like to keep the paintings and the books.
Well, Alys is not gonna like that, and she'll probably nag you to death about one or two that she wants to keep.
I will be generous and allow her to take 5 of the books.
There you go. But when you take out Lyrich, won't the other two immediately react?
It will take a while for them to know. Even if they know, they do not know what has happened exactly.
All right. Then I suppose we have a deal, Isaac.
Excellent. And he stretches out his hand.
I will give him a strong handshake.
All right. What's your strength?
My strength is 18.
You notice that Isaac's handshake is very tough. Far tougher than you would have expected from someone his size.
Fair enough.
Which means not as large as you.
Huh.
God. I have 2 really annoying thoughts. One of them is for Aury to discuss, and the other one, Merel is thinking about and at least doesn't know it yet.
Spit it out, maybe
Aury.
Aury.
One thing that Aury would know is that our potions will wear out like late this afternoon. So
that's why I wanted to.
Then
That's why I wanted to take them out now.
Yeah.
We also have to move quick. What were you thinking, Merel?
I'm not gonna share.
Okay.
Because the one thing, Alys can't communicate this to you, and you clearly forgotten, and the other one, Alys also doesn't know. So
I'm not sure. Robert and Baby have got. Maybe Aury hasn't forgotten. That's mostly it.
you never negotiated the freedom of the servants, because technically they sort of belong to the castle.
Yeah, but they're gonna be free anyway.
Yeah, but it is something that is not discussed at all.
Sure. Look, I'm pretty sure Isaac understands that we wouldn't accept.
I presume.
Yeah.
But I also don't trust Isaac anymore.
There are servants in the room with you, so it wouldn't be weird for you to think about this.
Mm-hmm.
So shaking the hands, and then looking back. What about the servants?
If the death of Stelian Reed does indeed rid the servants of their control, they are free to go.
Well,
we have no need of them.
You know, free will and such. Some prefer to serve, some prefer to go home.
I don't think any of them are here by choice. Perhaps the butler and the cook, but they do seem quite attached to Stelian Reed.
Well, just as long as you respect free choice and free will.
I don't think any of them will want to stay here.
I can't imagine. Here. I suggest then we move quick. How
Excellent.
much time do you need?
Not much.
Oh, there's one more thing that I do think Aury would think of. So I'm just going to suggest it. The manticore needle.
Ah!
I mean, for us, that just happened.
Yeah. And he's gonna fight Larry.
For me, it's 2 weeks ago, but for them, it's like half an hour.
Mhm.
I suggest we move fast. You for the wolf and Larry, and I'll see if my colleagues are willing to also move fast.
Excellent.
And when I walk to the door and have my hand on the door handle. Have you ever fought a manticore before, Isaac?
Make me an insight check. Sense motive check.
That's motive. Ooh, I rolled a 19, so that's a 24.
Isaac is a manticore. No, what?
You can see a hint of a smile appearing on his face just for a moment before he returns to his quite stoic self. Never quite fought a manticore before. I am in possession of a few objects from a manticore.
Nasty beasts. Nasty needles. Pierce right through an armor.
Yes. It would seem that yes. We will take care of Lyric and the wolf.
Good. Then, hopefully, see you soon, Isaac.
Hopefully so. Good luck.
You too. I also nod to the other two.
Yeah, they not bad. Not back.
Yeah. And I will walk back outside.
All right. Outside, as in actually outside of the castle.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through the living room. I'm just going to actually go outside.
All right. Cool. That sounds like a good time to take a short break.
Oh.
All right.
So we will be back in about 50 minutes. Something like quarter till 9.
Yeah.
So we will see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Or
ya.
we won't see you. You will see us in a bit.
Yes, yes.
we should be on again. I think. I hope.
Excellent.
Goddamn fact that I don't have hotkeys.
Should be is good enough.
Yeah?
They should have would have.
Yeah?
The fact that I can actually see us being on is good enough. Hey everyone, welcome back to Rules Fun. We're just going to jump straight into it. So, while all that downstairs was happening, I would like to return to Alys.
Mm-hmm.
I just failed a wisdom save.
Did you?
Did
Maybe.
you?
Did you?
I probably
know.
did.
I have an 18.
Oh, true. Yeah.
18 is high.
That's pretty high.
Maybe.
Stelian Reed is kind of talking you through some more books. Was there anything specific you still wanted to ask, or?
Yeah, we were talking about him having so little in common with the courtiers, which is kind of something that I steer the conversation towards. So I've mostly been endearing myself to him and sort of steering towards that. And someone I just want to say, like, so if you have so little in common and they... Why do you let them stay? I mean, this is your castle after all.
Yes. Yeah. Ask that question myself also every now and again. They seemed good company when I first encountered them, and I offered them their rooms, permanent place to stay. They took it, and well, now it would be rude to point them the door, as it were.
Maybe, but isn't it also excessively rude of them to expect to be allowed to stay here indefinitely when offering so little in return?
Perhaps. Yes, perhaps it is.
Honestly, if I were
Still,
in their position, I would not go a day without being immensely thankful of being in this amazing place. I would gladly stay in this library forever.
Oh boy.
Thank you. That is good to hear.
And possible.
But
Don't jinx it!
however, I'm afraid that I cannot really point them the door if I want to.
How so?
Well, we made some sort of contract is a strange word for it, but it is the best way to. The best word I can find out that comes close. It would be quite difficult to force them to leave.
I mean, that sounds very difficult. I mean, I've read a lot of law documents, including arcane ones. If you would be willing to share, I might have a useful second opinion. If you're interested in that. You are so terribly generous and have been nothing but kind to us. It just seems unthinkable that you'd have to endure something so unpleasant.
Well, endure is a big word. They're not necessarily bad company, but they certainly could be better.
There's
Maybe
room for an
just
upgrade.
to reassure your position with regards to them, I could offer some advice, help them be reminded that they could be better company.
Well, if you could, you are certainly welcome to.
With my fist.
In that case, do let me know.
I'm sorry, I must have missed something. Let you know of what exactly?
The details of the meaningful promise that you made.
Oh,
See
well,
if there's a loophole. As I said, I'm legally well versed.
I'm afraid that it is not quite a legal matter. It's a bit more strange and complicated than that. It's...
Try me.
It's more of a deal we made. It's an exchange, promise. Promise of I value, which I would not like to come back on.
What are the contents of this promise? See what your maneuverability is within the promise.
They would help me with certain tasks, keep me company. And in exchange, they could stay here. They could stay here as long as they desired.
And you never specified how they would keep you company.
I'm afraid that was a slight oversight. They do keep me company, but I cannot force someone to have certain
more pleasant
hobbies or
thing,
interests that they do not.
I can understand that. That is most certainly a terrible pickle.
Yes. By the way, Nix, you hear this entire conversation. Just so you know.
To be honest, I've tried to mostly make some good acquaintances with Lyric. She really seems to dislike me. And I cannot, for the life of me, fathom why. I mean, I can understand it a little. Like, I can be annoying.
Sure.
And it has been remarked upon. But she seems predisposed to hate me.
I have to say that with Lyric, I'm not quite surprised that that's the case. But please, let us enjoy things that are more beautiful than this situation. I
Absolutely.
would show you some paintings.
I'd be delighted. And I'll follow him to the gallery. Or the second gallery.
He does not seem to go to the second gallery. He seems to go to another room, kind of the other room on this hallway. Which, as you enter, seems to be kind of a recreational room. Seems to serve multiple purposes. There are tables and chairs. Some in the middle, some stacked against the wall. The floor is well kept and seems to also be, at least be able to use as some kind of small improvised dance floor. There are some strange things and quirks that are kind of stored on shelves at the back of the room. You recognize the chess set. He doesn't walk to any of those. He walks to a spot at the back of the room, and he seems to very classically grab a wall-attached chandelier.
A sconce.
A sconce, yeah. Wall-attached chandelier.
You know exactly what you mean. So
Yeah,
Guys,
exactly.
we're Dutch. English is not our first language. In case you hadn't
Like,
noticed.
even if English would be my first language, these are words I would forget. A sconce that he pulls ever so slightly, and you hear a soft, dampened sound of stone against stone as a small secret door opens in the wall.
This is exciting.
And he gestures inside. Please, it's a room that I have reserved for special meetings.
Okay, this is not public places anymore. Which I kind of anticipated that we'd end up, but... Can I... before I enter, I would like to very subtly, maybe only have like a nervous tick visible or something, but definitely not show that I'm casting magic right now.
Yes.
I don't have somatic or verbal components.
Excellent.
I just have material casting and prepared casting. So I need to grab a pouch of powders and drop it to assume blood control over myself.
Yeah. You may make me a bluff check for that.
Bluff?
Sleight of
Bluff.
Yeah,
Not sleight of
this
hand?
makes sense.
This
both are
very
fine.
much feels like bluff.
This is fine. This is fine. Bluff is fine. It's only 1 point. Oh god.
natural one.
It's not a natural one. Is this gonna help? Is it gonna help if I up this? I can add up to 6. That comes to...
How much is it now?
It's a dirty 10. I rolled a 3. Bluff is not my best skill. It's good, but it's not my best skill. And I don't get the free inspiration on it. So I need to spend a point. But I don't think I can make it to beat his perception. Or...
Passive perception. If
I
that's
mean-
a thing. Actually.
I want to make it seem like a nervous tick. I am... Yeah, I might have to drop it anyway. I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah. Right.
You might notice that I'm just rubbing some powder between my fingers.
If he does notice, he doesn't really let it through.
Right?
He doesn't show it.
And
Do you
then-
follow him?
Yes. I thought he held the door open for me and I'd have to go first, so...
I mean, he doesn't really hold the door open.
Oh, it is just open.
It's like
I will
a
definitely
stone
follow.
secret door that is shoved
Yeah.
open. But he
I'll
does
definitely
stand there
follow.
like gesturing. All right. As you are inside, the door behind you goes. Nix, where are you?
I would be, if at all possible, I would be right outside the door of this room listening. So I hopefully would at least
All right.
hear what's going on.
I mean, you'd
You
have
may
at
make-
least have heard Alys say, "This is exciting."
Yeah.
You may
could be
make me a
anything.
perception check.
All right.
Please roll well.
Well, that's good. That is good. Maybe I even heard the click of the sconge. Something. Let's see. That's 22.
Oh, you definitely, yeah. I was already a step further actually. So let's just do that in once. Yes, you definitely heard the sconce, and you hear the a soft click, and you couldn't really place it at first, but then you heard very soft grinding of stone against stone, and you could figure out okay, click and grinding stone, and Alys is saying how exciting, someone's opening a secret door.
All right. And I also heard it close again, I assume?
Yes.
All right. Then I will wait for a bit to hear if there's any other noises coming from the room, and if there isn't, then I will investigate. Have a look if I can spot, at the very least, if they're indeed gone, and then if they are, if I can spot the secret door, figure out where it is.
You can see that they're gone. And from context clues, you can kind of figure out where the secret door is.
All right. Do I also figure out the opening mechanism or not?
Yeah, I would say that you know that you... It's mostly that a lot of things in this room seem to be able to, being shoved aside, except for the sconces on the room. And you can kind of pinpoint, that is probably the one that I did hear the click from.
Might even see some of Alys's powder on the floor right in front of it.
I probably...
Yeah,
that was
think
not
that's
purposefully,
really good one.
but that is not
That you
purposely
see,
done, but...
You see a bit of powder, and it's okay, this is the place where the secret door would be.
All right. At this point, Nix will decide, okay, time to go see Aury, probably. Because
all right.
I don't think I can listen through this secret door. It doesn't seem like a wise
You're
thing
on
to
your
do either.
own.
Yeah. I'm gonna go find Aury.
Excellent. Alys. Stelian Reed shows you several quite beautiful paintings that he has collected. He wasn't lying when he said that his collection was quite special here.
Okay. Probably quite quickly, my concentration will drop. If that's
Alright.
the case. This was an initial, am I being led into a trap here? It might still be a trap, but I also need to be able to be friendly right now. I'm going to drop that concentration, so...
Alright. The room is pretty well lit by a couple of more sconces on the wall. It's kind of weird to see it from the inside, because the secret door apparently works both ways. In that, from this side, it's also hard to see, meaning that this room looks to be entirely enclosed by just stone walls.
Okay.
He has several paintings that he is kind of he's showing them by each of them, hanging it on a spot, dedicated spot on the wall, and then talking about it.
Alys is thoroughly... For most of the time, she'll probably be interested. There's a few... There's a couple things about paintings that don't interest her.
Mm-hmm.
So... It's there's just... a varied amount of interest. Books will always interest her. Paintings... She is very opinionated about, and everything that she doesn't have an opinion about bores her quickly.
Right.
So she'll try to be friendly, but it's
Right.
attention will dabble occasionally.
He seems to. Is there specific paintings that you would like less?
Anything that involves a portrait, a portrait of just random people. People in power, portraits are interesting because they have facial expressions, but portraits of random people, calm landscapes, and objects, still lifes. Those really don't interest her. She loves anything and everything to do with animals and monsters in them, anything with wild nature and heavy elements. And important people being painted.
All right.
Because they always have an expression that they need to be somewhere else.
Okay.
And it's
yeah.
trying to figure out how that works.
Um,
And she will share all these opinions she has on paintings.
Yeah, it seems that Stelian Reed kind of has a little bit of a feel when you're getting bored of a painting. He goes through quite a lot of them. There are a lot of landscape paintings. There are a lot of. There are a couple of paintings that kind of either depict stories that you are familiar with, like very much the classics, like basically fairy tales, except that it's a fantasy world, so they may actually have happened.
Yes.
As well as a couple of paintings of large historic battles. It's especially with the landscape paintings that even he begins to notice that the landscapes that do interest you are the ones about Dreidan and the surrounding area. And basically all the landscape paintings that he shows of Iritis are just incredibly boring. Because it's this very
happens.
like idyllic, beautiful green hills and a bit of forest and maybe a river and a small town there in the distance, and it's all bright and happy and joyful, and nothing is happening in any of the paintings.
Yeah. She will at some point remark how fake it all looks. And just sort of like plant that idea.
Yeah. So, Aury, after the conversation you've had with the guards, specifically with Isaac, what are you gonna do?
First, I'm gonna walk outside. Just take a look around, see if anything's out of the ordinary. If I see the less vampires.
Yeah, sure. Make me a perception check.
I don't think so, but because the sun's out. 16 plus perception, 6, 22.
We still don't know if it affects them.
No,
All right.
Exactly. If I see them, I'm like, hey, it's new.
You don't see any vampires outside.
Fair enough. Let's take a look around and walk to the front door again. And probably just walk back to my room.
All right. On the stairs, like when you basically walk up the stairs, this is also kind of the moment that Nix comes to the other side. So you basically meet in front of your rooms.
Okay.
You meet in front of your rooms.
I immediately pull him into the room.
All right. I didn't see any
following
funny
them.
business. I was following them until they went into a room after the library with a secret door, which they went through. And it wasn't really possible for me to follow them through that without being noticed. And also I figured, how far along are the guards?
The guards are gonna attack Iritis, the wolf, very soon. Now.
I'm thinking room with a hidden secret door. We know where he is.
Either we go in now and attack
We should
him,
go in now.
or the two of us look for the other two.
No.
Everything's possible.
No. I think we should get him. What are the guards exactly gonna do?
They're gonna attack Iritis and the wolf.
Only Lyric?
Yeah, they asked me, and I said they could take out one. I said Iritis, because if Iritis out of the picture, the wolf's out of the picture, that's
Smart.
2 out of 4.
That's good.
Nick, you'll also have heard like Stelian Reed talk about Alys interrogating about Stelian Reed's relationship with the other.
It did seem like Stelian wants to get rid of them also, possibly, the courtiers. But the thing is, we can't... Look, the main danger is Stelian Reed, because he can control us, and the potions are wearing off in like 2 hours or something, I don't know. I don't think we should go and tire ourselves out by fighting the courtiers and then getting sucked in by Stelian after all. Because that's what he wants, probably. That's what he'd love, that we would just kill them and replace them. So I think we should go for Stelian.
You suddenly hear the sound of shattering glass. It is loud. Alys, even you and presumably also Stelian Reed hear this sound.
I'll reflexively draw weapons.
Yeah, and Stelian Reed immediately looks up and says, "I am deeply sorry, my lady, but this seems to be a matter of grave importance." And he pulls his sconce on the wall. Sorry?
Can I assist?
I don't know. I do not know what is going on. If you wish to follow me, you are most welcome to. But I should go right now.
I'll be right behind you.
And he is going to walk, to basically run out to the common room.
Right.
And ask one of the servants. Go to him, ask, right, what's going on? Where did this sound come from? And the servant, still very calmly, with a big smile on his face, says, "It seems that the window opposite of the gallery has been smashed. It would also seem that that Lady Lyrie has been, falling out of said window to the ground." And Stelian Reed just Stelian Reed runs straight ahead, doesn't go through the corridor that you usually know, but runs through another room that seems to be a servant room, and goes down the stairs. Do you still follow?
I want to follow, but as he's talking to the servant, I would like to drop. I have 2 daggers on me. I'd like to. Dagger? Throwing axe. I have throwing axes on me. Want to drop one with a little bit of force so that it sort of sticks in the floor and will prop open the secret door. Then I'm right behind him.
Huh.
All right. Do you look back to check if it worked, or
no? Because my priority is keeping up with him.
Good.
Do you want an attack roll for that or something, or sleight of hand?
No, that's fine. He is very preoccupied. He runs. Runs, and you follow him through what seemed to be a servant room. And he goes down the stairs in a hallway that you vaguely know connects to. You're basically now in kind of the part of the house that is kind of the rooms behind the rooms, the places where the servants can walk, so that they can easily reach multiple places in the castle without being in sight of the nobles.
Were we told that this area was off limits?
Yes.
Okay.
I do not know for sure if you have been told, but you would certainly know that these rooms are generally off limits for visitors.
Yeah.
It's in the same way that you don't walk into the kitchen of a restaurant.
Yeah. No, there were certain parts that were strictly off limits, and I think the servants' quarters were not part of that. But that's mostly what I wanted to confirm, that we're not going through there. I'll just follow.
Even if you are following Stelian Reed right now, the servants don't seem to pay any attention to that. Yeah. He takes a door to the outside, and he runs around. Nix and Aury, what are you doing?
Well, we have a window to the outside here. Do we see anything when this happens? Or is it on the other side of the building?
It is kind of, it's on another side of the building. It's not directly outside of your window, but like the gallery is, oh no, you know that's in the gallery. But the sound that you did hear did come from close.
Alright, change of plan. Next, let's go to the sound. Come on.
Could be the guards.
Activate haste and... Exactly, I think that's our distraction. If those two others come to see the sound, we'll be waiting. Or if Stelian Reed comes, we'll wait for him. Either way, we attack.
Sure.
Concentrate on Hastings, running towards wherever I think the sound came from.
All right, you run to where you heard the sound, and you can see that opposite of the small gallery with a few statues and a few paintings, the window has been shattered. And as you look out of the window, you can see that down there, laying on the floor, is Lyrich. And beside her is a wolf. And both of them are absolutely riddled by spikes made out of slight reddish metal about this long.
Nice.
Okay. Huh. So, I just realized something, Nix.
Yeah?
I don't think the wolf's a manticore.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that seems...
If the wolf is a manticore, something went very, very wrong.
Yeah.
Or he's a very shitty one, yeah.
Very shitty manticore.
Do we see people... is there anyone around here?
Running towards us?
I mean, people are gathering. You can see that some servants are already there. And then a couple of the guards are approaching.
And probably shortly after...
Shortly after Alys and Stelian Reed will arrive. But what are you going to do? Are you going to wait here, or are you going to... Because
we're on what floor are we on?
You are on the first floor. The floor above ground floor.
Right, it was pretty loud.
Yeah. I'm just going to give you 2 pieces of information for free. The first one is, and with your expertise on falling, Aury, you know that this fall would not have killed a person.
More than 80 feet. Less than 80 feet, I guess.
And especially not a vampire, even a vampire spawn. Also, you both know that you're currently standing in a window where someone has been basically either thrown or pulled out of.
Yeah.
If you're going to stay here for a long time, you're going to be incredibly suspicious.
No.
That's definitely not what we're doing. The question is, are we heading towards the secret room or outside? At this point, I'm just gonna... You know what? I'm gonna roll for wisdom. Let's see. That's good. All right.
I mean, you're the wisest of the group.
Sure. Yeah, I am, actually. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's why. I said it.
No, wait. No, you're the wisest, I think.
I'm the wisest.
I just have higher will saves.
I have highest wisdom.
Yeah. No, I just have.
Save.
I just have a good will save. I'm just very stubborn. I'm not wise. I'm just stubborn. But this was a pretty good roll. So I'm gonna say Nix realizes that this was a very loud sound, and Stelian will probably come check it out. So, all right, we should head down there.
Let's go.
All right. As you all convene there, like just everyone is there.
Wait, Victor and Van Ries as well? Because it's day out.
Yeah, they are also there.
It's good to know.
All right.
I knew I had the perception check for something.
And there, no one really knows what to do. It seems.
Alys will quickly offer, like, may I take a look?
Yes, of course.
I'll just go about examining the spikes, examining the body, sharing what I see.
The moment that Stelian Reed arrived, all the servants went back to their normal business.
Okay.
So the guards are still there, and
the guards are still there. Van Ries and Victor are still there. Lyrich is still there, kind of.
Yeah.
Make me either a heal or investigation check.
Investigation, please. Thank you very much.
We can make a heal check just to check what's happened. Doesn't have to.
Shitty roll. That's a 22.
Well,
First of all, you're quite sure that this was a death by having an
Manticore spikes.
enormous amount of sharp spikes put into you.
Spikes match the ones that we got.
Absolutely, 1-to-1. With the kind of like the monster knowledge that you have, you very quickly figure out that these spikes, while they are not silver per se, they seem to have kind of properties of silver because they seem to have pierced the flesh far easier than should happen for a vampire spawn. Other than that, most things you notice is like you kind of notice that you can very easily go off the checklist of what makes a vampire spawn. But not. Is there any specific you were looking for?
I mean, I previously suspected they came from Leirich. How many of the guards are around here right now?
At the moment that you arrive, and then a bit more for your investigating, all 6 of the guards are currently here.
All right. I would, without sharing this, I would like to know if either the guards, Victor or Fondries, have a pouch on them that would properly hide manticore needles. Basically store, like, if you have this amount of manticore needles ready to go to kill her, you need a pouch to use them from. That pouch needs to make sure that it doesn't tear, that you don't accidentally stab yourself. So that
or
is
there's just a manticore somewhere.
Exactly. So there's the 2 thoughts going on in my head. One, I need to find the pouch that holds these, because whoever killed them, props to them. Whoever killed Lyra, props to them. I don't know what's going on in that respect. 2, how did they get this many manticore needles? Because whoever holds these manticore needles might be a bigger threat than this goddamn vampire that I've been talking to for the entire day.
Yeah. That sounds like a perception check.
Perception is not one of the free skills, and it's not a good roll. I need to switch dice. This is a 13. 13, but this is very important, so I'm going to add inspiration to this. 18.
18.
Yeah.
All right.
Rolled 5.
Most of the guards are carrying some kind of pouch or kind of a backpack-like thing. None of them seem to fit. None of them seem to fit anything that, like, maybe a couple of those needles, not this many. Like, we're talking about, about like a couple dozen.
Yeah.
Fondries does seem to have a large, like a large holster on his back. That at least Aury and Nix would know. I don't know if Nix would know it. Aury would certainly know it with your expertise on weapons, including firearms. This is his way of storing a firearm. However, it could also contain quite some other items, because it also has places for stuff like ammunition. It's basically kind of an oversized quiver.
Yeah.
Other than that, none of them seem to be wearing anything that would hold this many items. Although bags of holding are a thing.
Fair enough.
All right. And about the second question, how do you get this many manticore needles?
Yeah, to get this many manticore needles, like it's certainly possible.
If
You
have
would need
Manticore.
access to a manticore, or be very well. You would certainly have to have access. Have to add access to a manticore, obviously. And then either just gather them in a bunch and keep them hidden for a while. So either this is something that has happened a long time ago, or there is actually a manticore around.
Would there be any way of telling how old these needles are?
Ooh. Make me a knowledge monster check, but this one
Thank
is
you.
really difficult.
Come on, give me a proper Alys number. That's not a proper Alys number, that's a 24.
They're not really biological items.
Yeah.
And they're also meant to detach.
Yeah. Mm.
It's possible if you have the time and the materials and probably like some alchemy, but you might as well just
Guess.
you might as well just guess, or by then it is far older.
I'm
that
just waiting
case-
for Alys to say Manticore needles.
In that case, I'll just sort of wonder out loud. That is a fuck ton of manticore needles.
Well deduced. Is Isaac here?
All of them are here.
They're all.
Yes, all of them are here.
All right. Nix would like to glance at Isaac and is like, "Now?" Like, just kind of like mouthing. Now?
Oh no! Don't.
I want to see his opinion.
Don't.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Isaac seems to like just hold up his hand for a moment. And he goes to Stelian Reed. And he starts softly speaking to them. You may all make me a perception check to hear what he's saying.
Come on.
Got a
There we
19.
go.
Fuck.
21.
9.
All right. Alys, you're just a little bit too far away because you're still with the body. Nix and Aury, you can hear Isaac say to Stelian Reed, "Sir, if I may be so blunt, this is quite a severe event, and as your loyal guard, I would suggest that it might be better to get you to a safe place for the moment. We don't know if the perpetrator of this is still around here. I will have some of your men scout the area around. I will take 2 with me to make sure that you are safe. Is that all right with you, sir?"
Rolling against each other.
Yes.
Rolling against myself, always fun. Stelian Reed stands there. Yes, I suppose that would be the safest measure, yes.
All right.
All right. Isaac. Let's see. Sure. Isaac, Thornley, and Culgan will leave and basically kind of stand around, or Isaac stands in front of Stelian Reed, and the other two stand behind him, and they're guiding him inside.
All right.
You can see that Isaac has drawn a beautifully made longsword that he is now holding. And they leave through one of the entrances to the building.
Alys just sort of catches the eye of Aury and Nix, like, what is going on? Without actually saying it out loud.
I'll just give us a very small nod.
Nix would like to inspect, see if I can get any feeling of if Alys is under mind control. Is there a magic?
All right, you may make me an insight check.
Insight, sure. Insight?
Excuse me, sense motive. It's the one that I mistake most often, because I think that insight is a better name for it.
No, fuck.
That's
a natural one.
You try to get a sense, and you kind of look at Alys, but it's quite difficult to get a good look at her, because almost the moment that Stelian Reed has left line of sight, Victor goes to grab Alys and pulls you with force away from Lyrich. Make me a reflex saving throw.
That is very cocked. That is a normal number. Thank you very much, Dai. That is numbers that I expect on knowledge rolls, so that means it's really high on a reflex save. It's a 27.
All right.
Natural 19.
Wow.
You're being
reflex save.
Pulled away, and you're almost being thrown. You manage to keep your footing and still stand. And Victor looks at you angrily. You have no right to touch her. What have you done?
I've done nothing. In case you haven't noticed, I was actually being good company.
So there's still 3 guards here, right?
There are still 3 guards around, yes.
I've got his name. What was the big loudmouth again?
Bernal.
It's my friend. My buddy.
All right. Wix is going to share a look with Bernal's like, huh? Are we going?
I don't know what the deal is, so I'm just out loud to Victor, basically revealing all the drama that I've been privy to.
So you do this are we to Bernal?
Yes, but
And
also
Bernal,
I kind of want to also prepare myself for battle, draw my dagger and use some magic on myself. Because I'm assuming it's about to go down.
I will allow you to cast 1 spell on yourself.
Awesome.
You won't have the time for more.
I figured as much. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Got it. I do. I perform a dual physical enhancement on myself. And for the traits that gives me, I will get my sticky tongue out.
I see this, and can I concentrate on hasting?
Weren't you already concentrating?
Oh, that kind of pushes this.
I think I was hasting down, going down. and
Yeah,
not
you're
now.
probably not concentrating on it anymore. No.
Because things are going to go well, and they're going to go well immediately because
Fair
of
enough.
Bernal.
Fair enough.
Because two things happen now. Nix, you cast a spell.
Mhm.
It would seem that that Fonries has noticed, because Fonries immediately draws this long, very quite modern, for at least where you are, quite modern musket,
Mhm.
and like readies it. However, this kind of falls to the background of everything that's happening, because an extremely loud roar comes from Bernal,
No, bro.
as
Alright.
his skin seems to turn a like greenish brown.
He's hulking
He
out.
turns to large size, and two tentacles seem to sprout from his back as he to whom as he lunges himself towards Fonries.
Yay!
And that is where we'll end today's session.
No!
Really?
Can we not just do part of the combat?
No.
That-
Yeah.
Breaking up combat in Pathfinder is really difficult.
Yeah.
No.
That's all right. Fair enough.
Ah!
Not a week next week.
Finally. Finally.
I'm going to fucking murder this jerk.
So
I'm going to take
Yeah, we-
pleasure from it.
we are going to be back next week with combat,
Yeah!
with an actual fight for
Bernal
once
has
in a
two
long, long while.
tentacles?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Like
Bernal.
coming out of his mouth, or
No, like they seem to kind of be sprouting from his back.
ha?
I'm currently imagining Assassination Classroom. Anyone watch that?
I
No.
will have to
Oh,
look that up.
I've seen
It's
I will have to look that up afterwards.
Ha! Are they all like this shape shifting?
Who
Actually, no,
knows?
I haven't seen it. I've read part of the manga.
We may figure that out next time, or you may figure that out next time. I already know what's going on.
Fair enough.
Just a little peek behind the scenes. I rolled an intelligence check for Bernal to see if he wanted to be subtle or not. No, I didn't roll a 1. I rolled a 4. But
Oh!
still, with Bernal, that does not mean
Yeah.
very good things.
So they have a minus
well.
score on intelligence?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Oh wow.
So we will be back next week with actual combat. Whoa.
Awesome.
I'm very happy that
and-
Bernal's my buddy.
We will see what will happen then.
In the meantime, we have episodes on YouTube, and we have a
Yeah,
Discord.
we've got a couple of episodes on YouTube. We've got a Discord where we kind of try to keep people updated. We don't have a lot to tell yet, but I'm sure that will come someday soon. Other than that, I think that's it. So,
Combat.
Yeah.
see you next week. Hopefully, if no more technical difficulties show up.
And faster
Sorry.
transitions.
I'm
I'm
Hopefully.
sorry, I
Yay.
don't know what happens.
Bye.
Oh,
See you
it's
guys.
still done.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.